Can't tell you what it means. Merkel's farcical admission over EU's negotiating tactic. The German chancellor was grilled by reporters over what the vaguely defined term, as laid down in the bloc's negotiating guidelines, specifically entails after leaders took just 90 seconds to decide not to open trade talks with Britain. But despite the fact that European capitals are asking the UK to achieve this threshold, Mrs Merkel appeared to have no idea what it actually meant and fobbed off responsibility for its definition onto Mr Barnier. However, as the bloc has repeatedly made clear, it is the exclusive competence of the EU 27 leaders, and not the Frenchman, to determine whether sufficient progress has been made in the talks. The farcical moment came as Mrs Merkel debriefed media in Brussels following this week's EU Council summit, at which Mrs May made a personal plea to fellow member states to move the divorce talks forward. Berlin's chief also made no secret about the fact that money is now at the forefront of European minds, answering a question about what Britain can do to break the deadlock by making an exclusive reference to the Brexit bill. She said, "As regards the clear definition of sufficient progress, I won't be able to give you any details, because that is left to the negotiations between the British and Michel Barnier." The Chancellor said the UK Prime Minister had held a number of bilateral meetings with European leaders in the run-up to today's summit, all of whom had stressed to her the importance of upping her cash offer. She said, "We've been quite clear on why we think sufficient progress hasn't been made in relation to the financial commitments, therefore it's quite clear what needs to be furnished further." Michel Barnier provided us with an overview of where the negotiations are right now. "No sufficient progress has been noted to begin with stage 2 here, and now we focused very much on wanting to carefully prepare that second phase on behalf of the EU 27. We'll have to identify the various conditions for Brexit. Much work remains to be done here on the part of the EU 27. We're coordinating our efforts very closely. The links that have been established over the years are very close, so it will require a lot of work. We'd hope that we will be ready by December to initiate phase 2, but this depends to a large extent on the extent to which Great Britain prepares progress to such an extent that we can call it sufficient." The topic of financial commitments is of course the dominating issue in that regard. More to follow.